A year ago, I met Nate at a local jazz in the park thing my friend Hannah dragged me to. He was there with his med school crew, talking about Miles Davis like he was a prophet or something. I rolled my eyes so hard, I think I saw my brain. But then we talked, and damn, the guy had charm. Not fake charm either, real, offbeat, nerdy, dimpled side smile charm. We ended up staying together the entire week of the music fest. My group merged with his. There were bonfires, late night talks, cheap beer, and stolen glances. He told me I laughed like I meant it. I told him he had a face that made people confess things. He blushed. It was stupid romantic. By week 2, we were a thing. He texted me the second we got back to Seattle. I miss your face, that's all. Smooth, corny, but it worked. From that point, it was dates, cuddles, meet the friends, movie nights, Sunday pancakes, the whole happy couple package. And Nate was present, thoughtful, never made me feel like I was too much. I'd had boyfriends before, but this felt like future. We moved in after 11 months. Yeah, fast. But it felt right. He was a third-year resident, constantly tired, but somehow still made me tea at 1 a.m. When I was crying over depositions. I'm a civil litigation associate, long hours, brutal partners, constant pressure. We were each other's safe space. We started doing double dates with his best friend Leo and Leo's wife, Claire, the 4 of us inseparable, trivia nights, cabin weekends, game nights, all of it. I used to joke we were a sitcom cast away from Netflix royalties. Claire was a little cold sometimes. I chalked it up to stress. She worked in surgical oncology, which I imagine messes with your soul a bit. Nate used to laugh about being their third wheel for years. I told him I was glad I could break the curse. He kissed my forehead and whispered, "You're it for me." God, that line haunts me now. Anyway, 5 months ago, Nate proposed in the most Nate way ever on our tiny apartment balcony, barefoot, holding a ring in a box made out of sheet music. You make life sound like music. Will you marry me? I said yes while sobbing over leftover Thai food. It was messy, imperfect, and perfect. We told Leo and Claire first. Leo was thrilled, Claire polite. Not cold, just restrained. I remember noticing she didn't hug me. Weird, but whatever. The months leading up to the wedding were a blur of Pinterest boards, fittings, venue deposits, RSVP drama, and that one aunt who wanted to bring her parrot. Classic. We didn't see Leo and Claire much after the engagement. Nate said they were working through stuff. Fair enough. Marriage is hard. I didn't question it. I should have. I really should have. Because when people you trust go quiet, they're either hurting or hiding. 3 weeks before the wedding, Nate started pulling away. Nothing drastic, just subtle. He stopped singing in the shower. He didn't ask about my day. He forgot to order the custom cake topper I designed, the one with our dogs. I asked him if he was nervous. He said, "A little, but I want this. I want you." I believed him. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You trust. You give them space. You believe the best, even when you feel the floor shifting under you. Cut to the morning of the wedding. I was at the bridal suite of this stunning lakeside lodge near Bellingham. Makeup team buzzing, mimosas flowing, my phone buzzing. Except not from Nate. I texted. "Can't wait to see you. Love you." No reply. We agreed not to see each other till the altar, but still a text isn't bad luck. Right. An hour passed. Still nothing. Calls went to voicemail. Texts didn't deliver. And then came the knock. Leo. Face pale, hands shaking. No tie, just broken. I knew before he opened his mouth. He's gone. My stomach hit the floor. Gone where? He handed me an envelope. My name on the front, neat handwriting, Nate's. I couldn't feel my fingers. The letter. He started with "I'm sorry," as if that helped. He said he couldn't go through with it, that he had been in love with someone else for months, that he and Claire had realized they were meant for each other. Claire, my best friend in the group, Leo's wife, the woman who stood in my kitchen eating pasta I made while looking me in the eye like nothing was happening. He and Claire had made a pact, literally used that word. A *** king pact. They'd both agreed to break up with us before the wedding, but couldn't find the right time. Seriously? And the final insult. He said, and I quote, "I know this is sudden, but I really think you and Leo could be good for each other. You're both kind, strong, and you've always had each other's backs. Maybe this was meant to be..." A WTF? I looked up. Leo was crying. I was stone cold. Everything inside me froze. I wanted to scream, "Break something! Anything!" But I just folded the letter and said, "I need a *** king drink." I don't really remember the next few hours. Everything turned to white noise after that damn letter. People knocked, bridesmaids cried, my mom was panicking and whisper yelling into her phone, probably calling my aunt or God or someone who could fix what couldn't be fixed. I think someone tried to bring me water. I don't know. All I know is I was sitting there in a white dress that now felt like a joke, with a bouquet I wanted to throw into a damn fire, staring at nothing. Leo just sat next to me, silent, still holding my hand like it was the only real thing in the room. He didn't talk, didn't cry, just kept breathing through it. I could tell he was trying not to fall apart in front of me. And honestly, I appreciated it. I didn't want comfort. I didn't want soft words or "it's for the best" or "we'll get through this." I wanted to punch a wall and then burn the *** king guest book. We didn't say anything until a hotel staff member knocked on the door and asked if the ceremony was still happening. Leo looked at me. I looked back. We both said no at the same time. That was it. No screaming, no meltdown, no dramatic running into the rain, just a mutual, deadpan refusal to let the humiliation continue. I changed out of the dress, took off the makeup, scrubbed until my face was red. Then I did something weird. I packed up all my stuff. Everything. Left nothing in the room, like I needed to erase any sign that I was ever there. Leo helped me carry it to my car. The rest of the guests, I don't know what they did. My mom handled it. Bless her. She told everyone it was off and didn't let anyone come near me. I guess I'll be grateful for that someday. But right then, I didn't feel gratitude, just this buzzing numbness under my skin that made me want to scream into a pillow until my lungs gave out. Back home, I slept for 14 hours, then woke up and wished I hadn't. I tried to eat, couldn't, tried to shower, just sat on the floor while the water hit my back. I stopped answering texts, calls, emails, everything. I put my phone on silent and shoved it in a drawer. I couldn't deal with people saying sorry or asking if I was okay. I wasn't okay. I was humiliated, broken, angry. And I didn't even know who to be mad at first, Nate, Claire, myself. I started blaming myself, like maybe I should have seen it. Maybe I was too easy, too trusting, too in love with the idea of us to notice the cracks. Then I remembered the night I cooked pasta for all of us, and Claire insisted on staying to help me do dishes. She laughed and complimented my spice rack. She hugged me goodbye. Her eyes were so calm. She hugged me while ***, king my fiancé behind my back. That's when the grief turned into rage. Not the shouty, cry into a pillow kind. The cold, simmering kind that makes your jaw hurt because you're clenching your teeth so hard. I didn't want revenge. Not yet. I wanted silence. I wanted to disappear and rebuild quietly. I didn't even know who I was anymore. My entire identity had been tangled with Nate for over a year. I'd built a life around this guy. I planned my future with him in it names of our kids, dog breeds, cities we'd maybe move to, all of it. And now, nothing. I didn't go back to work for 2 weeks. My boss was shockingly kind about it. Take all the time you need, she said, which was code for try not to die in a pit of despair. So that's what I did. I didn't die. Instead, I scrubbed the apartment top to bottom like I could wipe away any trace of him, threw out his crap, donated half the furniture, even changed my sheets and bought new towels. Small victories, silent resets. A couple weeks in, I heard a knock on the door. It was Leo. He looked like hell. Unshaved, hoodie, the whole sad ex-husband starter pack. I didn't say anything, just let him in. He sat on the couch, I made coffee. We didn't talk for a while. The silence was weirdly nice. Then he said, I just wanted to make sure you were still alive. I laughed. First real laugh in weeks. Not because it was funny, but because it was absurdly accurate. Barely, I said. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Same. That night, we played a board game, something old and stupid we all used to play during group nights. Except now it was just us, and it didn't feel sad. It felt safe, familiar. We started doing dinner once a week after that. No talk about Nate or Claire. Just two heartbroken idiots making tacos and watching bad TV. Honestly, it helped. Leo wasn't trying to fix me. He wasn't walking on eggshells. He just was there, and I needed that. At one point, he looked up from the couch during some garbage Netflix documentary and said, Do you think they ever felt bad about it? I didn't even pause. No, not really. That silence afterward, heavy. It hung in the air like fog. I hate that I still want to know why, he said. And I got that. God, did I get that. Because same, you want the logic, the motive, something to wrap around the betrayal and make it hurt less. But there's no logic in betrayal, just ego and selfishness. We didn't talk about them again for a while. We didn't need to. But slowly, things started shifting. Dinners turned into long walks. Long walks turned into inside jokes. Inside jokes turned into real laughter. Real laughter turned into actual feelings. 6 months after the wedding, that wasn't, Leo asked me out. Like, officially. We were sitting on the hood of his car eating drive-through fries, and he just looked over and said, So, do you want to try the thing they told us to do in that stupid letter? I blinked. What? Get married and give our exes closure. He laughed. No, just try this. You and me. For real. I stared at him, thought about it for a long moment, then nodded. Yeah, I do. Not exactly how I imagined saying those words, but hey, this time, there was no ring, no lies, just honesty. And honestly, that felt like a better start than anything I'd had before. We didn't rush, we didn't put labels on it, but we knew, we both knew. We weren't each other's rebounds. We were what came after the rebound, the part where the dust settles and you realize you've got someone who gets it, who gets you. 3 months in, we made it official. Told our friends. Posted one picture on Instagram not because we wanted likes, but because we were done hiding. That's when the next bomb dropped. Nate called me. Number I didn't recognize. I picked up without thinking. And there he was. Voice shaking, saying my name like it still belonged to him. I froze. He started with the usual bullsh asterisk to missed me. Sorry, made a mistake. Didn't know what he was thinking. Regrets everything. I listened for a full minute, maybe 2. Then I hung up. Didn't say a word. I blocked the number. My hands were shaking. I called Leo. He answered instantly. Told you he'd call eventually. He said, yeah, he sounded pathetic. He called me too. Same speech. We didn't talk about it after that. We didn't need to, because we both knew the truth. They didn't miss us. They missed what they threw away. And we weren't theirs to miss anymore. A couple of weeks went by after those phone calls, and I really thought that was it. Like, maybe Nate and Claire had their little guilt spasm moment, realized their soulmate pact was just lust and proximity dressed up as destiny, and now they were going to crawl back into the shadows where they belonged. Turns out I was wrong. Because one Friday night, I opened my front door after a long day heels off, hair a mess, in my oversized hoodie that says, "Not today, Satan," and guess who the F asterisk CK is standing there? Nate. Holding some sad-looking flowers and this pathetic, almost hopeful expression, like I'm gonna melt at the sight of his puppy dog eyes. I didn't say anything for a second, just stared at him, trying to figure out what universe he thought he was living in. Julia, he said. I blinked. You're on my porch. Yeah, I needed to talk, face to face, please. I almost laughed. Like, what even is this, a Hallmark reboot for cheaters? He looked behind me like he was expecting something, or someone. And right on cue, Leo walked into the hallway. Nate's face, man. That asterisk T went from hopeful to confused to gut-punched in 3 seconds flat. He got it. He knew, just from that look. Leo stepped up next to me, hand casually around my waist. Not possessive, just there. I felt grounded for the first time all day. You two, Nate started. Yeah, I said, you wrote the script, remember? He flinched. Good. He tried again. Can I come in, please? Leo was already shaking his head. Nope. I should have closed the door right there. But something in me wanted to hear what he had to say. Maybe it was morbid curiosity. Maybe it was closure. Maybe I just wanted to watch him squirm. So I stepped outside, shut the door behind me, and crossed my arms. You have 2 minutes, I said. He swallowed hard. She left. I didn't even blink. Okay. She said it wasn't what she expected, that she missed her life, her job, Leo, everything. Wow, I deadpanned. Actions having consequences. Shocking. She said I ruined her marriage, that I pushed her. Oh, so now you're the victim. I didn't come here for a fight. Then you definitely picked the wrong F asterisk Key King house, Nate. He rubbed his face like he was the one exhausted by all this. I wanted to say I'm sorry and I miss you. I looked at him, really looked at him. This was the guy I was going to marry, the guy I trusted with everything. And here he was, a mess in a wrinkled flannel, begging for scraps like a lost dog. I didn't feel anything. No butterflies, no ache, not even rage. Just a clean, empty space where he used to be. "You should go," I said. "We're done." He didn't argue. Didn't beg. Just nodded, like a man finally realizing the house he set on fire wasn't going to welcome him back. Before he turned, he threw one last jab. "You moved on quick, huh?" I smiled. "Faster than you fell out of love with me." Boom. Door closed. Done. I told Leo everything. He didn't get mad. He just held me for a long time while we both sat on the floor with takeout we didn't touch. That night, something in me shifted. I wasn't surviving anymore. I was healing. Which is why the next part of this story hits so differently. Because just when I thought we were done with surprises, I saw Claire. In real life. At a damn medical law conference of all places. I was a guest speaker. Topic: ethics in high-pressure workplace relationships. Ironic, right? I was walking through the lobby toward the auditorium when I saw her standing by the coffee table, talking to someone, wearing a white blazer, like she was the queen of second chances. She didn't see me at first. I paused, maybe 20 feet away, just watching. She looked tired, not glamorous, not radiant, just regular human. And I felt nothing. Then she turned and caught my eye. I saw the exact second her face dropped. I didn't stop walking. Just gave her a tight, polite smile and kept going. Power move. Later that day, I took the stage, gave my talk, nailed it. And as I scanned the crowd mid-sentence, guess who was sitting in the back row? Claire. Alone. I didn't address her, didn't even look at her directly, but I adjusted my script. Talked about how some ethical breaches don't happen in boardrooms or on paper, but in text messages and late-night confessions. Said something like, sometimes the line gets crossed not by accident, but because someone decided their own happiness mattered more than someone else's trust. And that, in a professional or personal context, is still a breach. The crowd ate it up. Claire left before the Kiwanda. I don't blame her. I stayed after, shook hands, took a few selfies with attendees, felt like a damn rock star. Leo picked me up afterward. He had flowers? Not the sad, limp gas station kind Nate brought. These were wildflowers, bright, vibrant, a little chaotic, like me. We went home, ordered Thai, watched dumb reality TV, and laughed until our stomachs hurt. It was the first night I looked at this messy, complicated life of mine and didn't want to change a thing. Later that week, I got a letter in the mail. From Nate. I almost threw it out. But I opened it. It was 3 pages long, a ramble of apologies, explanations. I still care about you and you're the love of my life, Bullsh *T. I read it once. Then I shredded it. No rage, no tears. Just clarity. Nate had been the chapter, but I was the author. And I'd already started a better story. People ask if I got closure, the truth. Closure isn't something they give you. It's something you give yourself when you realize the person who broke you can't fix you, and you wouldn't want them to even if they could. That's where I'm at now. Leo and I. We're solid. Not perfect, but honest. We don't fill the silence with lies. We don't make promises we won't keep. And we definitely don't write F** Sea King pacts with people we don't love. That's the real revenge. Living well, loving better. Being the version of yourself that the past couldn't kill. A few months passed after that letter. At first, I expected Nate to show up again, or try something else. He had that guilty boy energy, like he wanted to fix things for his conscience more than for me. But nothing. Which was honestly even better. Because life finally started to feel calm again. Normal, even... well, my new normal. Leo and I found this rhythm that made sense. Dinners, work, runs by the lake on Sundays, grocery shopping like a couple of tired old souls at Trader Joe's. We didn't talk about what we were all the time. We didn't plan a wedding. We just existed together. No pressure, no secrets. Just two people figuring it out. But healing isn't linear, right? Some days I still had dreams where I was at the altar, waiting. Waking up with that tight chest feeling, heartbeat racing, dress heavy on my skin like I was being choked by memory. And yeah, there were triggers. Random stuff. One time I opened an old drawer and found the wedding invite proofs. My stomach actually flipped. I didn't cry. I just stared at it for a while. Then threw them in the recycling like expired coupons. No drama, just done. Claire tried emailing me once. Just a bland hope you're doing okay. I miss our friendship. I didn't reply. Not because I was trying to be dramatic, but because what do you even say to someone like that? Miss our friendship. Girl, you nuked it. With a blowtorch. I didn't need closure from her. I had closure every time Leo brought me coffee, just the way I like it. I had closure every time I caught myself laughing again and didn't feel guilty. I had closure every damn time I didn't think about them at all. That's the best part people don't talk about after betrayal, the moment you finally realize it stopped owning your mind. Like, one day you wake up and it's just background noise, not silence, not erasure, just unimportant. And I was there. Almost. Then came the invite. From my law firm. Some big gala event, black tie, charity thing with a bunch of high-end professionals and hospital reps, a lot of faces from across industries. I wasn't going to go at first. Too much small talk. Too many, oh my God, whatever happened with your wedding whispers behind champagne flutes. But my boss said I'd be one of the speakers this time. Quick 5-minute thank you speech for our legal contribution to a hospital merger. Professional milestone. Big deal. So I said yes. Bought a dress that fit like confidence in fabric form. Leo offered to come as my date, but I told him to sit this one out. Not because I didn't want him there, but because this part, it felt like something I needed to do alone. I showed up early, hair done, makeup on point, dress black, sharp, like a damn vixen on a courtroom TV show. I walked in like I owned the carpet. That's when I saw them. Of course. Nate! And Claire. I swear, you could hear a needle drop in my chest. They were standing near the sidebar, talking to some suit from the hospital board. Nate looked exactly the same. Hair a little longer, eyes more tired. Claire was wearing a red dress that looked like it was trying too hard. They didn't see me. Yet, I almost turned around. Almost. But then I remembered who the hell I was now. So I walked right by them. Didn't flinch, didn't slow down, just a polite nod like they were strangers I once passed on a sidewalk during college. The look on Claire's face. Priceless. Her smile faltered. She looked like she'd just seen a ghost, a well-dressed, glowing, unbothered ghost. Nate. Froze. I saw his jaw clench. He tried to wave. I ignored him. I joined my table, gave my speech, kept it sharp and gracious. People clapped. Someone even came up to say they loved my phrasing about ethics and enduring integrity. I bet Claire wanted to evaporate. That alone would have been enough. But life had more. Because about halfway through the night, Nate approached me, alone. He waited until I stepped away to grab a drink. "Hey," he said. I took a sip of water. "You're persistent." I didn't expect to see you here." "Well," I shrugged, "life's full of asterisk you don't expect." He paused. "Then you look good." I smiled. Tight. "Yeah. Happiness suits me." I didn't come to... "Look, Nate," I cut him off. "I'm not mad anymore. I'm not bitter. I'm not whatever you're scared I am." "I'm not scared," he said, a little too quickly. "Sure," I replied, "but I'm also not interested in this conversation." He stepped back, blinking. "You're serious." "Deadly. I've got shrimp cocktail waiting for me, and your face is ruining my appetite." His mouth opened. Closed, like he wanted to argue, or apologize again, or maybe just disappear. Then he said, "You and Leo, it's serious." I tilted my head. "Why you planning on writing us another letter?" His expression cracked. I smiled sweetly, sharply. That was rhetorical. I added, "And I left him there." Didn't look back. Didn't need to. Later that night, I posted a picture on Instagram. Just me, in the dress, glass of wine in hand. Caption, "Some doors don't need to be closed. You just stop walking toward them." It got more likes than our engagement announcement ever did. The funny thing, healing doesn't end with revenge. It ends when you stop caring about whether they regret it. It ends when you stop needing to be the bigger person and just be the person who moved on. Leo picked me up after the event. He didn't ask about them, didn't even mention their names. He just looked at me and said, "You good?" "Better than ever." "Let's go get milkshakes." Hell yes. That night, on the drive home, I realized something. I don't regret meeting Nate. I don't regret the love I gave, or the plans I made, or the dreams I had with him. Because they weren't wasted. They were practice. Practice for recognizing real love when it finally showed up. For trusting my gut when something feels off. For learning how to walk away with my head high, even when my heart was on the floor. He taught me exactly who I don't want. And somehow, in the mess he left behind, I found who I do. Not in some fairy tale rebound story, but in someone who showed up, quietly, consistently, completely. That's what real love is. No pacts. No betrayal wrapped in poetry. Just presence. So here's the thing, no one tells you about moving on. It's not about deleting the past. It's about learning how to live with it without letting it take the wheel every damn time something reminds you. And yeah, the reminders still came. Less often, but sharper when they did. Like when Spotify tossed our song into a random playlist one morning while I was brushing my teeth. I nearly bit through my toothbrush. Or when I passed that little Korean BBQ place we used to go to on Thursdays and caught myself slowing down to look through the window, like maybe the ghost of us was still sitting at table 6. But the difference now, it didn't wreck me. It just passed. Like weather. Because the truth is, I wasn't the same girl who sat in a bridal suite reading a goodbye letter. That girl wanted answers. This one wanted peace. And peace looked a lot like my current life. I'd moved out of the apartment a few weeks after the gala. Not because I had to, Nate didn't have a single thing left in there, but because I wanted to reclaim space that had no history tied to him. Leo helped me move. Again. It was different this time. No awkward silence, no glassy-eyed stares or long sighs. Just playlists, tacos, and a lot of should we keep this debates that somehow always ended in us keeping the dumbest asterisk tea like a broken lamp shaped like a flamingo that we'd both grown weirdly attached to. We settled into this new space with zero expectations. We didn't talk about marriage. Didn't talk about kids. Just about next week's groceries or whether we wanted to do board game night with our friends again. It was simple. It was real! And then one day, I got this random email from an old college friend. She was starting a podcast. "You won't believe what I heard about you," the subject line said. I clicked out of curiosity, not fear. And guess what? Apparently, Claire had started talking to people. Her version of the story predictable. That she was trapped in a toxic marriage, that Nate had confided in her about Julia's emotional manipulation, and that their connection was this intense, undeniable thing that couldn't be ignored. And sure, maybe that's how she justified it to herself. But what really pissed me off? She painted herself as the victim. Like cheating on your husband and betraying your best friend was just a side effect of self-discovery. Screw that. At first, I was going to let it go, just another lie tossed into the world by someone who clearly couldn't face what they did. But something about it rubbed me raw. Because people were believing it. At least in that small, social circle way. So I talked to Leo. Told him what she said, what she was spreading. He didn't even hesitate. Want to tell your version? I paused. You think we should... He shrugged. You don't owe it to anyone, but maybe you owe it to yourself. That sat with me. So I did. I didn't blast her on Facebook or start drama in the comments section of her curated life. I wrote a blog post. Simple, honest, direct. No names. No timelines. Just the story of a woman who trusted deeply and was betrayed silently. I told the truth about the wedding day. About the letter. About the ridiculous pact that blew 2 relationships into shrapnel. I ended it with this line. Healing isn't about rewriting history. It's about refusing to let someone else hold the pen. I didn't expect it to go viral. But it did. Something about the way I told it raw, sarcastic, no pity party, just truth hit people hard. I got emails, DMs, messages from strangers saying they'd gone through something similar. Saying my words made them feel seen. It was surreal and cathartic as hell. Even Leo wrote a little piece. His wasn't as snarky. It was quieter, sadder. He talked about trust, about rebuilding it after it's been turned to ash. He wrote one line that I'll never forget. I lost my wife and my best friend in one day. I thought I'd never trust anyone again. Then I met someone who didn't try to fix me, just sat with me in the ruins. We posted them side by side on a site for essays about modern relationships. It blew up. Not because we were looking for fame, but because it turns out honesty is rare. Especially when it's not trying to sell anything. And then, of course, came the email from Nate. Again. This time, short. 2 sentences. I read it. You win. Hope you're happy. I laughed out loud. Win, like this was a contest. Like betrayal had teams and I got more points for not collapsing. I didn't reply. Because I already was happy. And he had nothing to do with it. Claire sent something too. Longer, guiltier. You could smell the self-pity through the screen. I didn't expect this to come out like that. I just wanted people to understand how I felt. Sure. I didn't reply to her either. Because at that point, I was done giving free therapy to people who never once gave a asterisk T about the collateral damage of their choices. That's the thing, right? When people betray you, they act like their reasons cancel out the impact. Like pain is something you can logic your way out of. But some things aren't about logic. They're about character. About who you are when no one's looking. And honestly, I'd rather be the girl who cried on her kitchen floor in silence than the one who lies to sleep better at night. Leo and I kept doing our thing. He finally said, I love you over Chinese takeout, while watching a documentary about lighthouses. I didn't even blink, just said, took you long enough? He kissed me with soy sauce still on his cheek. It wasn't epic. It was right. We started talking about getting a dog. Something small, chaotic, maybe a little too loud. Kind of like how I used to be. I started therapy again, too. Not because I was falling apart, but because I wanted to keep building. Turns out, surviving betrayal doesn't make you immune to your own patterns. My therapist asked what I wanted next. I said, more peace, less explaining. She smiled. Sounds like closure. Nah, I told her, sounds like growth. Because honestly, I wasn't looking for closure anymore. I was looking for open doors. And they were finally everywhere.